I was completely and absolutely wrong. Welcome to episode number 6 in WhiTeeee podcast. The reason why it's named WhiTeeee is just because of the name of the channel, not because it's racist. So, let me start with this. I was absolutely and completely wrong with this channel idea. Now, here's the reason why I'm saying this. One, because absolutely nobody says he's wrong ever, and most people are afraid to say they're wrong. Number 2 is because I was actually wrong and I didn't want to admit it. And number 3, I never wanted to be wrong because that means a lot of people that doubted me in the beginning were right. Now I'm explaining that how is not actually the case. Well, let me explain. So the idea of this channel was at first was just me making videos, and the idea behind it was consistency first, meaning volume, as I've never had that before in the past experiences with past channels before in my life. So I did that, and the first goal was 14 videos a month, then 28 videos in like 2 months. Then I realized that I really want to do 100 videos a year, which I thought it was pretty impressive. I never even came close. Maybe I did 8 a year before that. So I did 100 videos the first year. I did 100 videos the second year. I actually even did more. Now I'm right now in the third year. I have spent about 2 years and 4 months now. So about 28 months, something like that. So that is a while. That is a long, absolutely long of a time. Now, how many videos I've uploaded? I've uploaded about 320 videos that are long form. And here's the catch. How many followers I've gained or how many subscribers I've gained? I've gained about 350 subscribers. On average, about 1 subscriber per video. Now that ratio is absolutely and completely horrible for a channel. It's bad. So I said, this year, I'm just going to continue anyway, and I'm going to make 365 videos. I said, well, let's be realistic. I have uploaded 100 and have gained no results. Maybe I should go for 1,000. Now, what's the problem with 1,000? The problem with 1,000 is something that's absolutely and completely unrealistic. I've never done it before. I probably can't even do it. I have no clue how I can make it a reality. I have no clue how I can make it exist. And it seems something that's so unrealistic and paralyzing. In fact, I thought about it and actually it was here in this whiteboard. I've made it as a progress bar. Now I have 365. Well, it's still 1,000 videos, but it should be 365. That was a misspelling. But it was exactly like that. It was about 14 days and 1,000 videos. What I found myself is I was absolutely and completely paralyzed. Not very good. Absolutely horrible and terrible that you have a goal and you're paralyzed. That was what has happened. I realized that the goal was too big for me, which paralyzed me. Now we gotta go to the basics and stick with the 365 videos. Now that is just a one layer, one problem, as if I am solving the symptoms, not the actual cause. The cause of this problem is I haven't gotten any results in the past few years. With 320 videos, so we have 320 videos in the span of 2 years and 4 months, and absolute no results, basically 20,000 views, which translates about 60 views average per video, also about 350 subscribers, which is on average about 1 subscriber per video gained. Now that is not a very good numbers. If you present it to anybody, if you present it to anyone who has any sort of logical mind, it will say that it is absolutely horrible and you should just stop. In fact, I've considered that as an option. I said, well, should I just stop? But just as a visceral reaction, I said, I can't stop because that's what the great do. You see, when you see Michael Phelps, you see Khabib Nurmagomedov, you see Cristiano Ronaldo, you see these legends, David Goggins, one thing they all don't have is a stop button. Now I said, that sounds impressive on paper, but what about practice? Now practice is a completely and absolutely different case. because practice is not La La Land. Basically, it's not utopia. It's not just what you want and you just become a bit of consistency, you add a bit of consistency and then boom, you got it. It just doesn't work that way. What actually reality is that you have to work hard, you have to change, and you have to look for results. Now, let me explain why I have actually made this podcast episode about this topic. Yesterday I was reading the book, The Diary of a CEO, I assume, and he was talking about how actually most people hate to be wrong more than anything else. And in fact, a lot of people will actually neglect the fact that is correct just to prove that they were right, not wrong. And that what made a lot of people, especially when it comes a breakthrough invention like AI and Bitcoin and blockchain and YouTube and social media and the internet and the computer and cell phones, you name it, all of the companies that were fighting to be right instead of doing the right thing actually lost. So it's like, well, that's fucking crazy, because that is exactly what's happening to me. It's as if I am not using the technology. So in this case, I don't have a technology. The technology is AI. I already use AI and leverage AI in my videos. I generate a few ideas with it. I sometimes script with it. I sometimes make the key points and bullet points with it, etc., etc. He helps me build my setups, build my lighting, know the rules of the camera, knows this, explore my cameras, my microphone, where to put it, where to this, where to that. So I already leverage AI as a tool that helps me. Now the problem with that is that is not the case. It's not about the AI and it's not a technology intervention or invention. But the case here, it's just about the same thing, but just reducing the technology aspect. Now, technology plays the role of what actually results. It's a results-driven approach. So let's say there is Bitcoin that just happened, or blockchain, or let's say social media have just got invented, or let's say for now AI. If I really don't want to use AI, I'm not gonna have the results that people who have AI have. Now, that is not using AI, not using the intervention or the new technology that I'm not comfortable with. In other ways, it's me not getting the results, or me avoiding or just wanting not to use the way that will get me the results because I just believe there is something else. I just don't want to be wrong. And I want to be right. And I want to, whatever I said, prove that it was right. So that got me thinking, well, that's interesting. And I think that it's a bit deeper. And it's not just about AI, it's actually with this channel, WhiTeeee Galaxy. And I'm a big achiever and I'm a big dreamer. Look, you see this? This is the YouTube play button, right? As you can see right here, this is the YouTube play button. And this is absolutely official. I know a lot of gurus and people on the internet buy it on eBay. This is my name with my mother's name, right? After she passed away, I decided to put her name and my name on here because she helped me a lot. And this is my Moroccan channel. Now, if you don't know, I have a Moroccan channel. Well, you shouldn't know. But I have a Moroccan channel that the content there is about entertainment. So I make entertaining videos. You can think about Ryan Trahan per se, right? I survived 24 hours on 1 Moroccan dirham, etc., and I have to trade my way out of there. Now, what's the problem with that? Well, let me give you some context, then let's make the resolution. What about that? I think it's just way better to do that. I'm gonna go back to the beginning, man. About 8 years ago, 2017, to be more specific, it was August, about 28th of August 2017, I had for the first time in my life an iPad, Apple iPad. Oh my God, that's amazing. What I have discovered more than the iPad is something called YouTube. So at the beginning, I was looking at documentaries, animals, just something that I was into, DIY videos and making, creation and crafting and all of that. And I was actually creating my own videos. Now beforehand, before I had the iPad, I actually had a Nokia, which I have lost now and I don't have it, duh. But I was actually filming a lot of videos beforehand. I didn't even know what YouTube was. I just loved the process of me making videos. Now, this will sound a bit sad because I don't have the footage, but on God, I swear to God that it is true, that I was very young, maybe I was 8 years old, I was vlogging with my Nokia. I didn't know it was vlogging. I was in a circus. I was in a roller coaster. And I really wanted to vlog. I said, hi, I'm here roller coaster. There was some guy and it was bald at that point. I have a buzz cut, not bald. Now, when I discovered that there is something called YouTube, I started making content at 14, which is in 2017, 28th of August. I started making videos with my friends. About 5 years later, I decided that, well, if I really want to get results, I gotta get serious. I started a new channel, I started a new brand, named it a different thing. I really just wanted to start off the chart. I started making short content as that was the king at that point, and I made videos. Keep in mind, all of these are in Moroccan language. So when I did that, one thing that has happened that maybe I wasn't expecting, but in some way I was, which is everything has exploded. Meaning I was getting 14 million views a month. That was the best month, actually, the best month of my life. Most of it was short form and TikTok and whatnot, but I was actually getting views. In fact, my most viewed video ever in my life on YouTube, it was uploaded in that period, which was the video that I told you about. I survived 24 hours on 1 Moroccan dirham. And it was from 5 years ago, and it's got about 4 million views on YouTube. Here is another problem. Now, this is just context. So at that point, what I've seen is that I was losing money. I was just losing money, basically. I've spent so much time just gathering money, and boom, I looked at the CPM and the RPM, which is the revenue from YouTube videos, and I was like, fuck, it's nothing. I get 1 million views and I get about, what, $100. That's not very good because 1 million views, long form views, it's not easy to get. It takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of dedication and hard work, and it just doesn't happen every day. In fact, with all these years, I only have done it once. I said, fuck, I gotta solve this problem. I started a business, it failed, right? Because it was stupid now that I'm looking at it. So I stopped and it was a long journey, I'm not gonna get into it. But the point is, I fucking made a decision at that point, which is, I know how to make YouTube videos. I was learning how to make YouTube videos from the greats like Mr. Beast and Eric and Ryan Trahan, watching all the podcasts from Colin and Samir, you name it, all of those great podcasts about YouTube and YouTubers and content creation, how we create content, how it goes viral, whatever. All of that. I was almost obsessed with YouTube. I said, look, I know the videos and standards that I am following are not only from Morocco, but are basically worldwide. So why not I make videos in English I do speak English. Well, my English wasn't as good now back then, but it was pretty valid. I could speak some English. Actually, the first video that I uploaded in English, it is uploaded again in this channel, and it is the first video uploaded. So I said, I'm gonna make English channel videos, make the same concepts that I make in Arabic, in Moroccan Arabic, and make them in English, upload them in an English channel, and then the genius idea, boom, boom, pam, which is I will get paid English money, American money, American dollars, which means the RPM will grow on my videos. What does this mean? It sounds a bit fancy. It means I go from getting 1 million views and getting $100 to getting 1 million views and getting paid $1,000, which is about 10 times more. That was the only theory that I had. Look at me now, 5 years later, I'm still making videos. I still haven't made a single dollar out of English YouTube videos. Now, that is for a few reasons. One, when I started making the English YouTube videos, I had one big of a problem. I realized I really can't make the same quality of videos that I can make in Moroccan like English. Even if I try, it's hard for 3 specific reasons. One, Nobody speaks English, or at least speak good English or perfect English and want to be on camera, and I can create content with in a useful way. Meaning, my most viewed video as an example in Moroccan content, which is I survived 24 hours on 1 dirham, on 1 Moroccan dirham, I can't really make it in English for the simple reason that nobody speaks English. If I go outside, I'm like, hey, do you want to buy this pen? I will just have more people fighting with me. In fact, the first video or second video that I've uploaded in this channel, it's actually deleted now, I have deleted it, but I really went out and I was talking to people in English. I got in a fight because people thought I was mocking them. And I live in a conservative city. So that was problem number 1. People can't speak English. So I gotta make content alone, as I am now. Content alone is not entertaining. Problem number 2. I was competing with the big guys. Now, maybe if I was lucky, right, and then maybe I have a good video here and there. The problem I had, it was I'm competing with Mr. Beast and Arak and Ryan Trahan and Emma Chamberlain and you name it. All the greats, man. Beta Squad, AMP, FaZe Clan, and now it doesn't exist. But you got the point. There's a lot of competition, way more than Moroccan content. But that wasn't a problem as every person is unique and whatever, you can actually succeed with being unique without competing in a way. It's just like you can be in a different way, but it doesn't really matter. So that was point number 2. Point number 3, which is the big guy, the big gun, the big boy. Unrelatability. And this comes in 2 ways or 3 ways or whatever. One is the environment in Morocco and the city that I live in is absolutely and completely different from the environment in the United States. So for the audience, for me, that I want him to watch me, or I want them to watch me, they live in the US, they want to watch me. So you're watching my videos and you're like, fuck, I can't relate to any of this. The buildings are different, the color palettes are different. Just the paintings of Moroccan buildings are quite different, right? The weather is different, you name it, all those are different. And also, in the same time, one of the basic metrics that YouTube actually goes on, especially at the first beginning, is the audience that you start with. Now, everybody says about YouTube actually pushing small channels, which is true. Yes, it can happen. But there is a catch. There is a big fat problem, in fact, which is everybody who starts with a base audience. You say, what is a base audience? I'm gonna tell you what is a base audience. Your mother, your father, your friends, your family, your neighbors, you name it. You're saying, well, it seems like you're just literally just bullshitting now. You're just talking words because you have a family as well and you have friends. You're right and wrong. I do have a family. I do have friends. I do have neighbors. You know what I don't have? None of them speak English. You know what I don't have as well? None of them live in the US. So the biggest problem that I had, it was I can't really share it because basically YouTube's gonna say, oh, these videos are going popular with Moroccan content, Moroccan people, so let me advertise it more to Moroccan people, and boom, the channel dies before it starts. Right? So that was the biggest problem, and still is. And that's why the reason why all of my posters on this channel are usually American based. You can see this is the Road 66. This is almost looks like Elon Musk, and he has an American flag. There is the American flag right here. There's the American jet flies, whatever, jet planes. Built for freedom is a slogan for the US. There is this Challenger car. It's pretty much represent the US. There is a drive-in dinner that looks like the US. There is this palm trees that very inspired by Miami or Los Angeles. So Florida, whatever, Los Angeles, you just name it, right? And there's all of these. My English has gotten better, but still not enough. So, as a solution for all of this, I said, look, I'm gonna be humble, and I'm just gonna make fucking videos and shut the fuck up. So I made a lot of videos, and that's when I started really uploading on this channel. Because some of the videos, some of the early videos were uploaded in a different channel. Then I sort of made another channel, which is this channel. I said, look, let's just make it a goal to make as many as possible of videos, a lot of them, and upload them in this channel. It's not like I hope for the best, but I said, if I make 1,000, if I make 10,000 videos, which is what I started with in this, if I make 10,000 videos, one of them will work. There's no way that 10,000 won't work. That was my entire strategy. I said, look, Khabib said in one quote, imagine just one quote, I based my entire strategy, which is Khabib Nurmagomedov, who's the lightweight world champion in UFC. He said, basically all what I did was train 2 hours every single day for 10 years. I don't care if I'm sick, I don't care if I lose family, I don't care. I was like, fuck, okay, that sounds a bit, it's quite simple, it's hard, it's not easy, so let's just do the same. As long as I film a lot, as long as I film almost pretty much every single day, I will win at some point. So I made 14 videos. I made actually the first 28 videos, the first thing I said, I said make 28 videos, then I'm gonna see. I'm gonna just make 28 videos, then maybe I'm gonna change the strategy. I made 28, I said I have to make 100. Because Mr. Beast has said that your first 100 videos is gonna suck. Your first 101, you start counting. So I made 100 videos first year. I made 100 videos second year. Actually, I made 320 videos in 2 years and 4 months. Because there was about 4 months that I just speed ran making videos, and I made 84 videos in 2 weeks. So, you could say and you could argue that the videos were shit. Sure. You could argue and you could say that most of my videos are just talking heads. I just sit and talk. A lot of them were about different things. I talk about nursing university college, that's what I do. Some of them were talking about mindset and discipline in life, that's what I do. Some of them were talking about YouTube and career and whatever I want to do, whatever, that's true. Some of them were talking about consistency and how I track my life, that's true. My habits, that's true. So I can divide my content into 3. I'll say like podcasts, even if they're not named podcasts, which meaning I talk about different topics in life and whatever I found interesting. 2, nursing university, which is very important in the content that I've produced. 3, is just about self-help. Whether that be in self-help books, self-help mindset, self-help tracking, whether that be in self-help in YouTube, college, you name it, just help, self-help basically. How you help self-help yourself. So, it didn't work. And this is, I don't know if it shows, but today is the 25th, well, it's actually 26th of January, 2026. Okay. You know that I've spent all of these 26 days, and pretty much almost all of the December, or at least half of it, which is the last month, 2025, just rethinking about what's going to be my goal for 2026. I analyzed 2025 in 100 different ways. I looked at my income. It didn't change from the year before it. I looked at my habit. Well, I had one good trimester that was really doing good. That's kind of cool. I looked at my WhiTeeee English channel. Nothing has happened. Not a single video in the past year have gained any traction whatsoever. I even talked with ChatGPT about it. I said, just be a brutal CEO, which means Chief Executive Officer. And he said, you should just leave it, stop uploading. I said, well, that's kind of interesting idea. And I considered it. When he talked about it, I said, maybe you're right. Maybe you should actually do the Moroccan content that actually makes a bit, at least some results. And in this way, you're like, there is no results and there is some results. Which one's better? Some or nothing? They're like, fuck, well, some is always better than nothing. But is it? Now, the problem that I always make sure I never make a mistake twice, ever in my life. That's why I have analyzed my life again and again, and I read books, a lot of that. And I make sure I just don't make that mistake. And I look back about 5 years ago when I was making the content in Moroccan content and actually blew up, I decided that I have to make English content. It means I just have to continue. It was a rational decision that I still think it's a good idea. It means it's a problem I have to fix. Most importantly, I was wrong. If there's anything I want to say in this video, I was wrong. Now, there is about 3 options I have. 1, quit YouTube, meaning YouTube WhiTeeee Galaxy. I can't quit YouTube forever, it just doesn't happen. It won't. I'll make YouTube videos until the fucking day I die, right? There is a video, my mother passed away, I made a video in the exact day about 5 hours later. It's on my YouTube channel. It got like 60 views, but it is true. That's just how honest I am to my core, right? Anyway, so okay, that got a bit aggressive really fast, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? It's my life on the line. I've spent years making YouTube videos. Of course I'm gonna get emotional. Of course I might get angry or hard feeling. Anyway, I have 3 options. 1 is quit, which means I quit WhiTeeee Galaxy. I don't think it will happen. I don't think it will happen because I have a vision that I truly believe in. It's called WhiTeeee Education. And I just have to keep going. Number 2, so the option number 2 is, I make entertainment content. So now when you look at it, even in the few videos that I have on this channel, there is about 3 or 4 or 5, let's say the top 3, 4, 5 videos on this channel, they're all entertainment videos. Oh, why Mr. Beast have broken my life? It's just like some weird clickbaity thing. Other video, I spent 1 hour, what $5 gets me in Morocco, whatever. The other video was like, I survived 24 hours as all the YouTubers. And the other one was like some random thing. I don't really remember. I said, that's quite interesting. Maybe I should do entertainment. So I was looking into it. I was looking at all the ideas I can do 24 hours in a tent, 24 hours in a circle. So it's the same Mr. Beast concept, but it's alone. Just like what am I doing now? I make a circle on the ground and I just exist here for 24 hours. So well, that's not a fucking good idea, innit? I can do 24 hours in a box, right? 24 hours in a cartoon box. Who's gonna stop me? Nobody, right? I can do that. So I was walking through all of the ideas and I said, fuck, I'm not gonna do them. 1, I just won't do them. Does it make sense? I don't know. Anyway, that was point number 2. Point number 3 is I try something different, which is pretty much just like the second one, entertainment. But just this one, it means like I can do different in many ways. Entertainment is different. I can do podcasts like I'm doing now, a bit different. It's the same videos, it's just the naming is different, the packaging is different. Maybe it's actually my sister's idea. She said maybe you'll attract at least podcast lovers. They don't expect some fancy editing. They expect a video and a good audio and the filming. That's what they expect. And they just want to hear and get value, whatever. I said, well, that's a genius idea. Let me make some podcast episodes then. Which is why I started it in 2026, my podcast, my WhiTeeee podcast. What are other options that I have that I can try something new? Because apparently, if I just keep the same videos that I'm making, they will flop. I will not get views with those videos. As you can see on my whiteboard, will I be the best version of myself? It's a question. Will I be the best version of myself? Yes. So what the best version of myself make as content? Podcasts. That's a cool idea. I'm making podcasts. In fact, I'm filming a podcast right now. This is a podcast. What is something else I can make? I'm the best version of myself. I really want to make this work. I'm still going to make 360 videos or so this year. But how can I make it so it's a little bit better or different. So at least I have a hope or a chance, or I can guarantee that it gets results. Now, when we're talking about results, we're talking about views, which views get me money, which is kind of cool result. That's cool. But what's more important? Elon Musk have recently said you have to provide value to people. You have to be a product and service creator. You have to make your outputs worth more than your inputs. How can I do that? Since the beginning of the channel, I was actually teaching. I thought that was value. But apparently, I'm not good enough for teaching. Maybe I just don't have authority enough. Maybe it's just not interesting enough. I don't know. I don't care. It just didn't work. Maybe it won't work forever. Maybe at some point it will work. But until then, I have to figure out a solution for me to make the audience care, which is a Steve Jobs quote. It's like, how can you make the audience care? Why should they care? Why should the audience care? The honest and real answer, I don't know. At least, I don't know yet. Maybe I'll know in the next episode of WhiTeeee Podcast.